Okay, I think we are live. It was so weird. Usually it does not work until I say, let's start, let's go live. And I got a notification that I was live, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, why is it saying I'm live? Okay, I am now live on Facebook and YouTube. And so sorry about that. That was some weird glitch or something new with YouTube. They're always updating things. Um, so this was not really a planned video. I have been so overwhelmed because I have so many projects and ideas and things to show you. There's not enough time in the month to give you all my videos on the days that I do videos. So I was exhausted this afternoon, so I went and took a nap, and here we are. All right, we're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. The chat you see in the video is on YouTube. So if you want to see the video on YouTube or your chat on YouTube, come on over, hang out with us in the chat. So I got these Arteza watercolor pencils. They sent them to me. And I have these Arteza watercolor pencils. I just opened these today. I purchased these. And I'm like, I'm not very good at drawing. So, and I'm going to show you from the beginning, we're going to show you Design Space, how I'm doing this. I'm not very good at drawing. And, actually, where's that one picture? So I used the Arteza watercolor markers and made this, and it has the black outline. So it's just kind of like coloring the coloring page. But I wanted to try something different. This was my test piece, and we're going to do a different piece this time. I wanted it to look like I actually drew it when I didn't, because I can't draw. So this is a Cricut image. The Cricut drew this out, and I just colored and scribbled on the back and then traced it. And I got this. The blue part was, I was just playing and trying to make a background, and I shouldn't have, because then the owl's face is a weird color. I should probably just go over that with another brown color. And so I did this in the book. Like, the Cricut did not draw on this. So this is Arteza's watercolor paper. They didn't send me this. I bought this. I bought lots of stuff. Their stuff is really, really good priced. And I have a coupon code for Arteza in the description. There's a link and a code. So we're going to go ahead. Do you guys want me to show you how I did it? Let's go to Design Space. So this time I thought, well, let's do this image. They're actually from the same cartridge. And I thought this would be fun to do. And I'm going to do an ombre look. That's my plan. I haven't done it yet. We'll see how that works. So this is just a drawing image. And then I just attached it to a square from the shapes. So I went into Design Space and I searched draw. This is where it came from. Kinley Phrases and Sentiments. I don't know why it's not working. There we go. And I was looking, this is the first one I did. And this is the other one. If you want to find images that draw, there's some new ones. I am going into images and just searching draw. And that's where I originally found it. Thanks, Kim, for your pledge. So these are new ones that the pen will fill in depending on how big it is. If you make it really big, it's not totally filled in. But these are all drawing images. I thought these would be fun, and do these in like a rainbow effect. I think that would be fun. But look at the dogs, and there's some Valentine ones. That you could have the Cricut draw in the same way. Look at these. The same way I'm doing it today. I want to make sure this will. So we've already chose one of these. Anytime you want to click it in an image, you just click it, highlight it, and click Insert Image. But we're not doing that. We already have this set up. I'll make it a little smaller. It's about 5 inches. So I'm going to click make it. Hey, Bobby. Bobby, we're having the Cricut do watercolor. So I'm going to continue. It's going to draw and cut this. The first one, I didn't even have it cut. I just did it solely on the paper. And the paper that we're going to use, I will show you. I'm just going to search paper. I am not using cardstock. I am using copy paper. I've actually never cut copy paper that I can remember. Okay, so we are going to load the pen, and the fine point blade is already in there. And let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's move this. So this paper, it's just copy paper from the computer. Nothing special about it. I went and got it from my printer. I'm using the blue mat. You don't want to use anything but the blue mat. The green mat, this paper won't come up unless it's a really old green mat. And I'm going to move the camera. Okay. And we're going to load this in. And for those new people that have never used a Cricut, make sure you push. Like, I'm going to push this with my thumb while I load it. But I don't have a pen in here. So we're going to undo this. I'm going to hold my thumb down here at the bottom and push down. And I think that's in there. Right? Yeah. And then I'm going to hit the go button. And you can watch it draw. I'm using the blue mat. What's the blue mat called? The light grip mat. That's what it is. Hey, Kiona and Jamie and Elena and Judith and Cheryl and Tammy and Nancy and Tammy. Tammy was here early. And Mary and Jeannie, Melanie, Barbara, Janet, Latoya, Rebecca. I'm just reading off your names. Oh, I forgot to do fast mode. Sorry, guys. Oh, the mat has flowers. This is one of the older mats. I've been buying mats for the machine for many, many years now. Hi, Sue. Has anybody here, raise your hand if you have never used the Cricut pens. Hi, Ann on Facebook, and Clark D. Craft, Leslie Lee. Yeah, there's fast mode. I totally forgot to do fast mode. If you have a Cricut Explorer 2 or a Cricut Maker, you can make it go in fast mode. Hey, Cinnamon. Hi, Pamela and Kathy and Linnell and Bunny. Betty on Facebook has never used pens. You really should use the pens. I guess if you only cut vinyl, you probably have no reason to use the pens, but I've even used the pens on vinyl. Elena for Crafts, welcome. So glad you're learning. How do you change to fast mode on the Maker? You know, I don't know. Because I had to choose this paper, I don't know if I actually had fast mode. If you have cardstock or vinyl, or iron-on, it does do fast mode, but actually with this copy paper, it probably doesn't. I did it last time. I did the first project because I just used cardstock because I wasn't cutting, I was only drawing. The fast mode is in Design Space. I can pretend we're going to cut it again and show you the fast mode, where to turn it on. It's after you upload your mat. So if you have it set to cardstock or vinyl, and then it'll have you upload your mat. So you load your mat and then go back to Design Space and you will see the fast mode. Yes, I'm using a Cricut pen, the 0.0 or 0.4. I think it's 0.4 pen. I'll show you the pen because we're going to be doing the pen some more too. Myrna asked, can you write and cut like a print and cut? You do write and cut. That's what we're doing now. Shelly, to find the fast mode option, load your mat, then go back to Design Space. Usually what we do is we load our mat and then hit go. We never see fast mode. Yes, Kathy, you can scan a pic into your computer and then use it with the Maker. Okay, now it's done writing. It is kind of small, isn't it? Probably should have made it a little bigger. We'll see. Okay, now we're going to unload. And we're going to move this down. So there it is. And let me show you how I take things off the mat. This paper I don't need. I could save it. It's not really worth saving. A lot of people have trouble taking paper off the mat and makes it curl or rips it, especially this thin paper. What I do is use the spatula and then move my wrist back and forth. So I have this done with the mat. And I'm going to use this right in my book. I don't even have to take this out. Okay, I'm going to show you the pen I'm using. Because we're not done with this pen. We're still using it. Thanks for subscribing. Cricut. It's kind of blurry. It's 0.4 tip black. So it's a small tip black. Okay. Now, I have, these are woodless colored pencils. I've not used these until today. And see, I was using them. And, okay. Today, I want to show you these two. These are Watercolor Expert ones. And, okay, today's the first day. I tried to open these up and I'm like, I cannot get these out of the package. There's 3 trays of these. So, that one I messed up. What I did is I gotta redo that one. I added washi tape to them and made a little pull handle. And you can see some are missing because they're right here on my desk. So there's 3 different trays. And I'm gonna be doing different, oh, I don't know what colors. Some pinks and reds. I'm gonna steal this one. But I want them to be a little different. And these are really nice. They have magenta, they have the color on there. And then for those of you that are real artists and know the light fast, it has light fast numbers on each pen. These each have a 3 on them. I'm just trying to pick out some different colors of pinks and reds because we're gonna do this one in an ombre. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. We're just playing. These look a lot the same. Ooh, flamingo. And peony and plum. And then I'm going to use, what's this one? A burgundy, Algerian red, okay, now the first thing we have to do for watercoloring without being an artist, because all we're doing is tracing, is we're going to color the back of the paper. So this is what the Cricut did. We're going to turn it over and hold on. Let me put these down in order. How are we going to do this? I think I'm going to do the pink ones in the middle. And I'm just going to do something like this. Okay. So I'm going to color. I'm not coloring. I'm scribbling. And the more you put on there, the darker it will be. And you really should. Now this one is watercolor, is woodless. So there's no wood there. It's all color. And I'll show it to you. So I can kind of do it on the side. I'm going to overlap some of that one. And I have glue all over my mat, so it's not the best mat. I'm going to put these back down in order. And make sure you cover the whole that everything with ink on it is covered. Has anyone here seen this type of effect before? Oh, see the woodless? How it, once you use it, you can see it's all color. Yeah, these sets, there's different sets. They're really inexpensive. And if you use my code, Melody Lane 2, I think, it's in the description below, you'll get an additional discount. And they're really, really good prices. I have lots of sets of colored pencils. I have some really expensive ones. And I never use them because they're so expensive. I feel like I can use these, especially for something like this. I love to overlap when using just regular colored pencils or watercolor. And you can do this any way you want. So, what is the advantage of the woodless? I think the advantage is there's a lot more pigment. So the pigment is going all the way through, and then it's just painted on the outside, and then you can sharpen it to get rid of the paint. But you have so much more pigment, where this, if you look at the thickness, they look about the same thickness. Oh, it's really hard to see, isn't it? But this one's full of wood. So you have less pigment. Is this not right? Yeah, I think it is. I don't know if you can see a big difference here. Okay, so now we have that. And thinking, I haven't tried this, but I just got an idea. So I'm gonna put this on here, and I was thinking, let me see. I haven't tried this, and we're just gonna see what happens, because I do that. So I have this Nouveau Light Mister. I'm gonna just kind of mist it. We're gonna see. So I'm gonna lay this on here, and to keep this in place, in order for me to lift it up so it doesn't move, I'm gonna use some washi tape and tape it down. Hold on, don't want that to. If you have questions, put them in all caps. And if you know the answer to those questions, feel free to answer. Okay, so those of you that just joined, are there people that just joined? Did you see what I did before? So the Cricut drew this, and then I scribbled on it, and then I drew this, and then watercolored it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back over these, and oh, not that. We're gonna use the Cricut pen, and we are just going to trace this. So I'm gonna push down hard. I might not trace it perfectly, and that's okay, because then it's my own. You can just use this as a guide. I'm really not doing that very well, but no one's gonna know. And it's probably easier if you actually make it bigger than what I did. So all I'm doing is using this pen and tracing what the Cricut did. And let me show you. Okay, can you see? So we're gonna go over that and color it. But that way there's not gonna be any lines that are specific to like having black lines that you're coloring in. And I can't see the chat right now. Can you guys see okay? I'm asking you, but Okay, Jamie. Jamie just had a great idea. I don't know. I guess we could try that. I don't know if it would press hard enough. I'm pressing harder. So Jamie's idea was to put the colored pencil on the back. Make sure that was right. Then lay the copy paper on top of the watercolor paper. Then let the Cricut write it. That might work if the Cricut would press hard enough, because I think I'm pressing, oh, that wasn't a very good one. But it doesn't matter. Let me show you the mistake I just made. Okay, so see right here, I went right through the petal instead of around the petal, but it doesn't matter. Let me see if I can show you. Because we'll end up just coloring it in. See? And I could just color that in with this pen. I would rather, uh-oh, it's not sticking very well. I'd rather do it with the, but you can lift this up. I'd rather do it with the colored pencil because I like coloring with colored pencils. And I did the same thing there. This might help you learn to draw too. And the image is included in Access. You could probably try the score tool. I don't know. We could try the score tool. You would have to tape down this paper to the watercolor paper in the Cricut if we did that. And you don't have to do everything that's in the picture. Like if I didn't want this word love here, I just wouldn't trace that. I could move it around and add some of the flowers there, or draw my own flowers. Okay, now who's gonna try this? I know a lot of you already have the Arteza markers. You could use the watercolor markers also. Well, no, I don't know if the watercolor markers will work on the back, but you could use them to color it in. I think to scribble on the back you have to actually have the pencil, but I haven't tried it with the markers. I'm not doing a great job. I did better with the owl, and I wasn't in video when I did it. I like these little arrows in here. Thanks for subscribing. Cool. See how it's lighter in the middle? I don't know if you can see that. That's because I used lighter colors. And you can do this more than once. So I have this. I could do this again with what's on here. So I can save this and I don't have to scribble anymore on there. And I could just do it again. Almost done with this part. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. It's hard to see, but we're not done yet. So now I'm going to go over it again. And I have these in the same place that I had these. So I started, let me see. Okay, I started on this end. So these are going to be over here. I'm going to start with the lightest ones so you guys can see this better. And I may be using some watercolor brushes. So after I get all this on there, it's really hard to see the light pieces. Yes, this is in Design Space, so I didn't print it. The Cricut drew it. See, the Cricut drew this, and then I'm just tracing it. I colored watercolor, and I'm just tracing it. So when we're done, it will look like I drew it and not the Cricut. So right now, I'm not really coloring it in yet. I'm just going over it with the colored pencils, watercolor pencils. And I'm trying to remember which side I have to do next, although it doesn't really matter. Should probably sharpen this one. Yeah, the score pen may be too thick to do it. I don't know if the scoring would do it at all, really. I don't think the scoring is thick enough. Okay. We're gonna go over these with, I have the Arteza watercolor brushes, and it'll make it a lot brighter. So sorry, if you're watching the replay, you might want to fast forward or watch the whole thing pretty quickly. I wonder if you can do the same thing on a canvas. Oh, yeah, you probably could. I'm forgetting which one I'm using. I think it's easier to do it all one color. It's like sometimes, why do I try to do everything more difficult? Okay, I'm gonna go in with some of these in. I like to layer my colors. So I like to use multiple colors and layer them a little. Like this one, the one I did before, after I did it, I went around it with different colors of green, and I used my watercolor brush. So we're gonna see how this turns out. I don't know, because it's different. It's not really a colored in picture, you know. I'm gonna use the lighter one. And I think I was pressing down too hard with these two. Something I didn't really need to do. So I'm just going over some of these just to add a little more color. And then we're going to see more colors. So here it is with before the water. Yeah, there's a Cricut paper crafting kit with the like the quilling tool and stuff. I do have the paper crafting kit. Here's the mat from it. This comes with the paper crafting kit. Okay. Which I have 6 Arteza. They have a thing of 6 of the brushes. I only have 3 out right now. So with these, the water does not come out unless you squeeze it right here where it says push. I love these. So I'm going to, I don't know what is going to happen. So I have a little paper towel here in case I need to dab this on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, I should really start in the middle where the lightest color is. Now you can do what you want with this part. I could smear it around, color it some more, add some more depth to it. You do not have to use water with watercolor pencils, but it looks more like painting. And the more layers you put on it first, I think the cooler it looks. Like I went over my pieces a little bit. And I am not an artist. Like, I'm just, you see what I'm doing. A child could do this. I'm not pressing, I'm just barely touching it. And then we can go over it again, even after doing this. I'm going to pull some of this darker into the lighter just because I feel like it. Uh-oh. Did you guys notice a mistake? It says lovey. There's no E, it's I. It's an I. So, what to do? Oh, I don't know which one. I'll try this one. We did not do that middle E. See? I didn't do it. It wasn't even a trace of it there. There we go. And I'm getting off of it. Do you see where I just brushed off of it a little bit? Just because it blends it in. And it looks more like you're painting and it has shadow. Is this better if I hold this up while I do it? See how putting it like next to it, you're adding a lot more color in there, but you still see the lines. Like I could just go all in there and color that all in if I want to. I'm just showing you. Like, see? This is why I like watercoloring. Mark, I love clay making. I have a whole drawer full of clay that's probably no good anymore. I like any kind of art. Okay, now let's go. Okay, now I didn't do any over here. I just did some over here and in the middle, and I didn't blend in the middle more like I did over here. I just wanted to show you more options. Okay, let's go here. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want with this. You're the artist, even if you don't think you're an artist like me. But what I like about the Cricut drawing it is because I could have never have drawn that. I could have had the Cricut draw this and then go on top of it, but then it's bleeding, or I could have embossed it. So I had the Cricut draw this and I embossed the black. So everything you see in black, see how it's like kind of shiny? I had the Cricut draw that and I embossed it, and then I just colored in the lines with my watercolor markers. And there's a video on that too. But see, you can't just do it like that. But this way, no one knows, except for you guys, that I didn't draw this. Oh, I got that black ink in here. I'm gonna push this in a little more. Thank you, George. That's so sweet of you. Is this better if I hold this up like this? So you don't even have to stay in the lines. And you don't have to be an artist. These Arteza watercolor pencils are awesome, and they're so inexpensive, and they're artist quality. They have some even cheaper ones, but these are so good. And I have a little extra water there, and I can just blot it off if you want less water. Oh, I didn't go over this. I thought I did. Just adding a little color in there. I'm going to put a big drop of water right in here and then kind of wipe it off. So I lightened right here in the center of the flower. I'm going to do that to this one too. So putting some water there, putting this cloth here and just moving my finger around. Lightened it up a little. Okay, now raise your hand if you guys think you can do this. Can I raise your hand for you? I'm just gonna go around it a little. Isn't that cool? So the Cricut did this, and I did this. The Cricut did this with the Cricut pen. I flipped it over and colored it, and then I traced this onto here, and then I went over it again and colored it. Now, doesn't it look like it's in a book. This book does not fit in there, so you could do this for journals or planners and things like that. I can also reuse this. I can do this on another page. the same thing. I haven't tried, I just did this one, the 0.4 black. It's a fine tip pen. And I haven't tried it with any, I don't think it would work with the markers. I mean, well, you could draw it with the marker pens, but you want something a little sharper. You could probably use a ballpoint pen, a fine tip pen to trace it with. I don't think that matters too much. You just need something that'll trace it, and you can test it. Like I tested mine, like I drew that little face and that flower just by hand, and then I just colored the back, and that was before I ever tried it. I'm like, well, I gotta see if this works. So it's hard to see, but it's there. I'm like, it works. I could go over it with the pencil. So this is the one I did, not in video. I was just testing it to see if it even worked. So the Cricut drew this one, and then I did this. I first colored the background. So now if I wanted to, I could cut this out, with scissors, or put it in the machine and cut out a heart and put it on a card. Or I think this is great for journals and stuff. And then you could do other things on top of it. You could put glue and glitter and embellishments and all that type of thing. Marlene is asking, great question. Couldn't you draw this with a colored pen and then highlight by hand with the pencils? So do you mean have a Cricut draw? Because I can't draw. Just saying. Oh, I know what you mean. Have the Cricut draw. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's a marker. Let me get my Cricut pens. You guys see my Cricut pens? There's a fine tip. Let's go back to the first page. We'll practice at the bottom. Okay, so this is the 0.4 magenta. So let me just draw a flower. We'll pretend the Cricut drew it. See that? Let me move this back up. And then it's kind of purple. We're going to go over this with for one, doing it this way and just kind of tracing it. I don't know if you can see. I don't trace it very well. Let me be honest. I didn't trace these very well. So you can see it's not perfect, but once I take this off, you don't know it's not perfect. All right, let me color this in a little. Let's add a little color. I don't know why I have to keep doing it. This has a lot of color in it. I can still see that pen line. Now it's not dry yet. And that pen line is not watercolor. You could do it that way, but I like the look of the other better. Because there's no pen line, if that makes sense. Glenda's trying to understand why I had to go through the step of tracing it. So what I did is the Cricut wrote this. If I had the Cricut write it, even in pink on here, for one, I can't have it in the book. I'd have to take it out. And I had to trace it to get this on here. So the way I got this on here, I did not draw this by hand by looking at this. I put this on here, I taped it down, and then I went over this with a Cricut pen, and then this color pencil, I colored this with colored pencil first. This transferred to this page. And then I went over it again with my colored pencils, and then I used my watercolor, my water brush. Does that make sense? Yes, you can take out the watercolor. That's what this is. This is actually one of these pages. I took this out. I put this on the mat. I used I have one over there, a embossing pen. It's a, you know what it is. It's a pen with no ink. Well, or did I use black one? I don't remember. But it's a pen that stays wet so I can emboss it. So where the black is embossed, and then I colored this in with colored markers, watercolor markers, the Arteza watercolor markers. And there is a video on that. But you see the blackness. See the blackness of the drawing, like you would do if you're doing a coloring book page. This, there's no black. It just looks like you watercolored it. That's the difference. That pen holder that I use comes from Michael's. It comes with a different kit. And that was like sideways usually, but I just took it out of the other box it comes in and use it for a pen holder. If you just joined, you'll want to rewatch the video. Yes, Glenda, I used the Ranger embossing pens when I did this video. But this one, I just used the Cricut pens and the Arteza watercolor pencils. And I have a code in the description of the video and a link. I do get a small commission if you buy the colored pencils through my link. And there's a code, I think it gives you 10% off, good through the end of February. Can you show the pen holder? This is not made to be a pen holder. It's just what I use it as. It comes in different case from Michael's. Some of the recollection stuff, I think. Mark is asking me what I would take on a desert island. What items? I would take crafty items. I couldn't take my Cricut, there's no electricity. I would take colored pencils and markers and paper and other stuff to keep me busy. I did use the watercolor pencil on the project. Here, guys, have courage and be kind. That's what I knocked out earlier. Yes, Patricia, you missed it. Okay, guys, there's so many of you coming back in and wanting to know how to do it. So I'm going to have to end the video so you can see how to do it. If you're watching the replay, I highly suggest you watch it more in fast forward or skip ahead a little bit, especially while the Cricut is drawing. But listen to how I explain how it works. I don't know. I thought the link was for the watercolored pencils. Oh, you know what? I don't know that they are. Oh, they aren't the watercolor. I thought they were. I'm going to take that out. Let me show you which ones I used. So if you go to the link below for Arteza, it'll take you to Arteza, and then you can click over here to pencils. So I have these professional colored set of 72. They're expert watercolor. You get 72 for 31. I have, I think, 2 sets that I spent almost $200 on colored pencils. They're really good ones. Oh, no, wait. Professional? No, not these. These are the watercolor, professional watercolor pencils, the ones with the purple on them, for $35. And then the woodless watercolor pencils are right here. These cost a little more. You only get 24 for $24.99, but you get a lot more pigment. So I have expensive ones that I just don't use. They're too expensive to use. These are amazing and such a great price. And if you use my code, you get 10% off. All right, guys, thank you so much. Here it is again. And I did this one off camera because this was my test. Look at that wreath. Isn't that pretty? This wreath, that's in Cricut. This whole thing says all you need is love. That's cute. That's in Cricut. So I thought when I was doing this, I'm like, I could just do that wreath and put something else in the center. And this is really pretty watercolored. Isn't that pretty? So the Cricut wrote that. I didn't even cut it out. So the Cricut wrote that, and I scribbled onto the back, traced this onto my pad, and got that. And then we did the same thing with this. Yeah, isn't it a great price for these pencils? And I feel like I can use them and without feeling like, oh my gosh, these are expensive. I don't want to use them all. They have to last the rest of my life. All right, guys, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow I'll be back with another crafty video. I don't know what yet. I have 3 projects in my head that I really want to show you, but I'm not doing them all tomorrow. I get too worn out doing live videos. So I thought I want to show you this one too. So I thought, well, I'm just going to come on right now and let's just get this one done and show you guys how you guys can be artists with your Cricut and with Arteza awesome watercolor pencils. And it's so cool. Like, I didn't even think of this until I was almost done with this, that you can put these in a journal without taking them out of the book. You don't have to take it out of the book. or planners. You don't have to have the Cricut do it. You can trace it. All right, guys, love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.